Hey, hey, hey! Howdy doody do, troopers. This is Jonathan. You might also know me as Jonno. And this guy over here is an old friend of mine. I've been knowing him for over a decade
Too
and
fucking
doing,
long.
yeah. Yeah, and we do this show together in 18 episodes in. And I think we had a collective, we're building up quite a mass of listeners, and we really appreciate all of you.
Yeah, we're up to three now. Huzzah!
Yep,
Holy
yep,
shit.
yep.
So yeah, if you couldn't tell, if you haven't watched any episodes yet, to not know what asshole this voice belongs to, it's Zantok, otherwise known as Lister, the person that keeps things on track around here, or at least
Otherwise
fucking
known as
attempts to.
asshole.
Yes, otherwise known as the asshole who nags and says, "Hey, hey, is that episode up yet? Hey, hey, is it up yet?" A week later, "Hey, bro, episode though."
So am I a jackass then?
To be determined.
To be determined.
The name is
Okay.
still pending with the marketing team.
Okay. Yeah, we have quite a team amassed, don't we? Okay.
You're the
Uh,
marketing team.
yep. As far as the whole self-effacing goes, we that was a fun time, but it's also going to be a fun time recording this episode. I think this is the first Smash or Dash where we're going to be having two separate third-party tussles.
Correct. We have had third party characters previously in Smash Bros. Such as when we had your good pal Jamie on to discuss
Yep.
Mega Man. No, not Mega Man. Zero versus Shadow the Hedgehog. This time around, both of our matchups will be third party characters. We wanted to get some of these in here, talk about something more than just Nintendo, but because we've been kind of trying to hit different series between both our
Hmm.
Smash Dashes and our Smash Topias. And we're just like, you know what? It's time for some third parties. Let's get into it. And I think probably once
Yeah.
we get to like year two, season two, whatever you want to call it, we'll probably be mixing things up a little bit more. I'm assuming because we
Yeah,
won't
we're
only
gonna
be
have
like, all
a.
right, we've got our one Kirby, we've got our one Zelda.
Mhm. We're gonna get our fourth and even fifth party characters in the game, like Mickey Mouse and Harry Potter and Vacuum Cleaner.
The one from Brave Little Toaster.
Sure, yeah. I was thinking just the
Yes.
Dyson.
No, the one from
But
Brave Little Toaster for sure. But let's be
okay,
real though.
okay,
If we don't get Toaster, we have to have radio.
we
Come
do.
on.
And Blanky too.
I
The
mean,
full the whole cast.
Blinky would be Toaster's up special.
Yeah, that's true. You know who has up specials today though? All of the characters that we're going to be talking about.
I mean, they
Naturally,
don't because
because
we don't have movesets for any of them. This is going to be
oh,
one of
but
those
we
rare
could talk about
episodes
them.
where none of the characters in today's episode have a move set up on Smashtopia as of yet.
Yep.
Although
That
two of
brings
them,
a
actually, all of them have been considered at one point.
yeah. Yeah, they have, and two of them are also from fighting games, so it's pretty easy to just look up combo stuff online.
Oh yeah, yeah. When I was
And it's
researching one
like,
of them, I was just like, all right, I have a moveset. I have it
and
already ready. Let's do it.
yeah, and speaking of these matchups, they are who are they again? They're Shovel Knight and Shantae, I think, is one of them that we'll be
Representing the
diving
indie
into.
crowd.
Yep,
And there are
and
two
then
fighting game characters, both brutal and murderous, but in fairly different ways.
yeah,
Scorpion of Mortal Kombat and Nightmare of Soul Calibur. Well,
oh,
technically
Buddy
from Soul Edge,
James.
but whatever.
Hmm. That's kind of like how Ryu is technically from Fighting Street.
What?
The first Street Fighter was called Fighting Street.
What?
Yeah, we're just gonna toss that out there. The first Street Fighter was Fighting Street, and it
Hold
was
up.
terrible. Yep.
Hold up. I gotta look this shit up.
Okay.
What the
Enjoy
shit?
the trip down memory lane.
What? No. This is bullshit. Hang on. Hold the fuck on.
And I'm pretty sure it was who was
No, you're
playable? Ryu,
wrong. You're
Ken.
wrong. A
Yep.
port for the
Yep.
TurboGrafx CD was released under the title Fighting Street in 1988, but Street Fighter is a 1987 arcade game. Eat shit.
Ah, damn. But Fighting Street is so much better.
No, it's really not.
It
Also,
sure
the
is.
original Street Fighter is one of the worst games. Holy hell,
Yeah.
is it broken? My
Yep.
God, it's a wonder that they got to make Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, I'll say. I don't know about you, but I'm still looking forward to the second Fortnite.
There are two Fortnite games. Technically,
Is
the
there
first,
really?
the original game isn't the battle royale one. The original game was supposed to be something else, but it never. I don't think it's ever gotten out of early access because once uh
Battle Royale got out, no one really cared about the
yeah,
other thing.
pretty much like once battle royale became popular, they're just like, well, shit, let's print some money.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the other
Mm-hmm.
game.
Yep. I can't wait till we get to Fortnite and Smasher Desk, because then we'll be going for Thanos versus Batman. Things like that.
I mean, Deadpool's in Fortnite now.
That too. That's a great leaping point for for all characters involved.
Yes.
In the meantime,
You know who else is in
I think
Fortnite?
Elsa.
Chucky Finster.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
I am not.
I am gonna look that up right now.
You know who else is in Fortnite?
No,
Azurda.
really? Ah, man, I don't know who Ian Baron is, but he sure has a lot of views.
You know who else is in Fortnite? Nobody, because the game
No.
fucking sucks.
Oh, what a controversial take for all of the younger folk in this
Hey,
group that's
hey,
listening.
I played the game. Not for me.
Yeah, I have never really quite bothered, but
That
you
said,
know,
I think I would enjoy it more than if I were to try PUBG.
maybe Battle Bus will be in Smash Brothers.
I mean,
As a stage.
it's the best choice of stage. Because then you can actually
Yep.
travel around the areas. Otherwise, it's just like, lol, Tricky Towers. But oh wait, Tricky Towers doesn't exist anymore. Oops.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Literally, the only option is Battle Bus.
Yep. Eventually, we're gonna get to Betty Boop in this game, but for starters, I think that maybe we should
Boop,
jump
boop, boop,
on
boop.
in and exactly. And our final smash will be that whole St. James Infirmary scene. That would be nice.
I thought it was going to be
But
someone Popeye, but okay.
Popeye as a playable character, that's on the Smashtopia wiki. You can look that up. It's great.
That's true. So is Zach Soldan of Critical Role, if any of you fans of that are listening.
Yep. Well, you'll be listening after this, so there will be fans listening. So, but without further ado, I think we should probably jump into the meat of this episode, if you're ready.
Alright, so our first match is going to be between what is probably the two most talked about indie characters to get in this match. There's several of them out there that people would like to see. Between Shantae, Shovel Knight, there's also Hat Kid, Hollow Knight. It's debatable if Minecraft Steve counts as indie or not anymore. But there's
Yep.
plenty of indie characters that people would
Toho.
love to see added. Toho, I've even seen support for Five Nights at Freddy's. Owlboy, I think I've seen some for.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Can you imagine that?
I don't want to imagine
Oh
it.
man.
I really,
Okay.
really don't. Needless to say, I do not support that one.
No.
Cuphead, man, I was supporting Cuphead for a while, and then we got the meat costume. It's
Hmm.
like, all right, well, that's cool.
Yeah, it is.
But I think we're gonna have you start us off with an introduction to Shovel Knight because I don't know those games.
Yeah.
All I know is
So
he's a knight with a shovel, and that's all I can say.
Shovel Knight is in fact a knight with a shovel. Was it the name that gave it away or the design?
Probably
Regardless,
the name first.
the name first, and then yeah, and then he's actually carrying a shovel. It's very interesting, very charming. Some people out there may think that that's all that Shovel Knight is capable of, but that's a story for another day. So, something interesting about Shovel Knight before we start is that he's a knight with a shovel, but not a shovel who is a knight. There can be some discrepancy in the naming there. Secondly, though, as much as that may degrade the character value in some's eyes, I love the guy, I love the game, I love the series. Shovel Knight was introduced as a Kickstarter campaign, 6 or 7 years back now? I think 2014 or 2013,
Hmm.
and has since become an indie establishment. essentially, I think Shovel Knight is the face of, or at least Shovel Knight and Shantae are the faces of indies and nindies in particular, like the indie surge on the Switch and on the Wii U, actually. The dude is everywhere. He's crossed over into multiple games now, including Smash already as an assist trophy, and Brawlhalla, a few other things. Uh, that initial campaign, that initial game, Shovel of Hope, that Shovel Knight stars in himself, is a 2D platformer. I would say it's very akin to classic Mega Man or Wario Land in the way that it's set up. Uh, the general idea of Shovel Knight is you're playing on a quest to look for his friend, lover thing, Shield Knight, and
What?
that's a knight with a shield from the grasps of the Enchantress at the Tower of Fate. And between him and that goal are a team of other knights known as the Order of No Quarter,
That's a
which
good
Plague
name.
Knight,
I
King
gotta admit,
Knight,
that's an amazing name.
yeah, it is. And Plague Knight, King Knight, and Spectre Knight, who also have their own campaigns within Shovel Knight now, originate from the Order of No Quarter, and you get to see in their respective titles kind of their backstory leading up to becoming members of that order. He and Shovel Knight has more at his disposal than just digging with his shovel or ripping off Scrooge McDuck with it, or Cranky Kong, thanks to the power of relics that he finds throughout his journey. And we'll talk more about that a little later.
All right.
How
Well,
about that Shantae?
Shovel Knight's opponent today is the half genie Shantae. Shantae is a series of games that was created by WayForward, and it's actually one of the
Hmm.
oldest indie series out there, with its
Oh
first
yeah.
game coming out in 2002 on the Game Boy Color. Like that's some old ass shit. The vast majority of the indies that people talk about now are no younger than like 2010 ish, if that.
Hmm.
It's and then we got this one that's from back in the old ass Game Boy Color. It's like holy damn shit. That said, the next game wasn't released until 2010. There was a
Yeah.
long time between Shantae 1 and Shantae 2. The whole
Hmm.
character of Shantae is, well, she's a half genie, and she is essentially the guardian protector of this small town called Scuttletown. How she became the guardian protector, I don't really know. But she's dressed up like a belly dancer instead of, wearing knightly armor like Shovel Knight. And instead of
Kind of
having
like an
a,
I Dream of Genie.
yeah, you could say that. She has the whole I Dream of Genie outfit. You could definitely go with that.
Yeah.
Uh, Instead of being able to like use weapons and relics, I mean, she does have some weapons she can use. She primarily will attack using her hair, or by transforming into a variety of animals by dancing. She's got other magical powers, and at one point, she even lost all of her genie abilities and had to team up with her nemesis, Risky Boots the pirate, and was given various
Oof.
pirate equipment to help her out.
Hmm.
There's a whole thing with the Pirate King, gotta stop the
Yeah.
evil pirate with the other evil pirate. It's
Hmm.
kind of how things go. She's best
Yep.
friends with a zombie who has betrayed her a couple times to because she wanted to eat her brains, but it's all good now for some reason. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yep.
But Shantae is very much a platformer with a little bit of Metroidvania thrown into it, but not. But
Yeah.
for the most part, all the games pretty much play the same. They just have different areas that you go to and some different transformations, different equipment that you can use.
Yeah, it's interesting with Shantae where she ended up near like the apex of the Game Boy Color's lifespan, just in 2002 as that system was leaning into the GBA era. But it was such a well-regarded game that it stuck in people's minds for a long time from Way Forward, which at the time was more of an independent developer than they are now,
Mm-hmm.
and finally seeking funding. There was a huge surge behind that revival, and then Shovel Knight came onto the scene, and between the two of them, I think they've both played that big role in driving attention and legitimizing independent developers.
Right. And you
Uh,
mentioned that Shovel Knight was funded via Kickstarter. I don't know
mhm.
which games of Shantae's were also Kickstarter, but I do know that the fourth game, Half Genie Hero, was created through a Kickstarter as well. Possibly the
Yeah,
third and fifth game were as well, but I only
I
really
believe
took
Pirate's
notice of the
Curse
second
was.
one. Okay, that
Yeah,
would
and
make
then
sense
uh,
to me.
then then interestingly enough, around the same time, you also had Toki Tori come out on the Game Boy Color by an independent developer, and it came back for a resurrection on WiiWare that was pretty well regarded, and then it just kind of dropped off the face of the earth. Like they're still porting it and its sequel to the Switch, to the Wii U, but they're on flash sales all the time. The company's not really doing a whole lot. But then Shantae, who was made around the same time to similar reception, blown up. So that was just an interesting side fact.
Ah,
Yep. One day we'll be talking about Tokitori somehow, I'm sure.
probably not.
Yep, absolutely. Tokitori versus Mappy. Anyway,
What about Burger Time?
uh, Burger Time too. All and Cement, would you believe it or not? The old Game and Watch title. Shall we dive into Shantae and Shovel Knight fighting one another then?
Their abilities, weapons, and skills to see who would win a death battle?
Yeah,
Wrong
basically.
show.
I think that's the show. Oh yeah, this ain't that show, and this ain't that dance.
Actually, Shovel
We're
Knight
just
has
gonna
been in
kind
a
of
death
talk about
battle,
things.
so there is that. Actually,
It's
of our
interesting.
four competitors in today's Smash or Dashes, Shantae is the only one that has not been in a death battle.
Well, with our massive social influence, hopefully we can change that. Make
Shovel
it
Knight was
happen.
against Scrooge McDuck. Yep.
I would ask, but I'm not gonna spoil it for everyone else.
I know Nightmare was against Guts from
Hmm.
Berserk, and I don't remember who Scorpion was against.
I don't know either. Maybe an actual scorpion from Deadly Creatures.
Doubt it. Doubt it very much.
Yeah, 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 me too. Well, Shovel Knight, to his credit, besides the old Scrooge McDuck and digging into the earth with his shovel and attacking people with his shovel, or for clarification, digging into the earth and then like spreading jewels all over the place that you can pick up,
Hmm.
or attacking with a shovel, also has the relics, and that is a sizable list of items that you get throughout the game, and you can work them in a Castlevania-esque way afterwards, where you can hold them in your inventory, and or rather Metroidvania, hold them in the and use them at any point after you've unlocked them, as opposed to other titles, like an earlier Castlevania title. Actually, this is like the Mega Man influence too, where you beat one of the Order of No Quarter, you get a relic, or you buy a relic, or you find a relic, whatever. And some of the relics include the flare wand, which similar to the fire rod in Zelda in a sense, but the flare wand sends out a singular fireball that travels at a pretty heightened speed. I would say similar to Mega Man's gears. The phase locket, which allows Shovel Knight to become invulnerable and invisible for a certain amount of time, like an enhanced invisibility cloak. Uh, Dust Knuckles that allows Shovel Knight to punch through multiple blocks of dirt simultaneously. There's a lot of under earth sections of the game, and they're also operative as just standard iron knuckles as well. The throwing anchor, you throw an anchor forward, and it's a sight to behold. Uh, the mobile gear, which you set down, it's kind of a steel platform with a little steel wheel, and then you jump on it, and you can use it to ride platforms.
So it's
Uh,
the
the
with the spinner from Twilight Princess.
In a way, yeah, it's very similar to that. Now that you mention it, but less utilitarian, honestly. The alchemy coin, which you toss a coin, and if it moves along the ground, and enemies that are hit with the coin are turned into gold.
What? What is this? Super Mario
Yeah,
Bros. 2?
apparently so. Uh, and you can also like get into a little tussle with it because you can actually hit that coin back, and have like a shovel fight with it. Some enemies, like armored enemies. There's the war horn, which works similar to the super horn from Mario Kart 8, actually.
Jesus.
Where yeah, where it looks like a Viking war horn, and you blow into it, and it disperses. The mic from Kirby is a better example, actually. It disperses enemies within a certain radius.
Right, right.
Uh, Propeller dagger, which is a propeller that's also sharp. A chaos sphere, which is a little green ball that you toss around, and it flies in all sorts of different directions. Once you bounce it off the floor, it bounces off walls. It's crazy. Fishing rod. But the fishing rod serves to the truffle chalice, which is really Shovel Knight's greatest facet, in my opinion. If you don't know the Truffle King or the Truffle Dance, you shall soon be enlightened. Unfortunately, probably can't look it up right now because you won't get the full experience of the music. But the general gist of it is that the Truffle King, or at certain points in the game, you can use the fishing rod. There's like little sparkly things coming from the earth or from like a hole that you lead down when you normally die in. And if you drop your fishing rod down the hole, you can catch something. Sometimes it's a bag of diamonds or gold. Sometimes it's a truffle. And the truffle is a fish that looks like a truffle and a fish combined.
What?
And yeah, it's a strange thing. Like the truffle king looks like a giant apple combined with, or like mushroom combined with a fish. And they serve the truffle king. And if you spare the truffle, which you don't have a choice, you can't ever kill the truffle, they'll fill your chalice up with ichor, and those will buff you up. And I'm sure that could be part of his moveset too. But what I'm getting at here is he can use a truffle chalice to summon the truffle king and engage in the truffle dance for a final smash, which has all of the truffle fish jumping all over the place. The truffle king just moves to and fro, dancing around, and it is a sight to behold. There were plushies made of the Truffle King and everything that sold out almost immediately. It was a grand campaign. It was beautiful. It's beautiful, and
Right.
and
This doesn't sound
that's
culty
the
at all.
that's the initial that's the initial pitch for Shovel Knight anyway. And there's more avenues you could take the moveset if you wanted to dig into other knights as well, but kind of like classic Mega Man. But the idea between the relics and the trouble stuff, I'm sure that's enough for a general idea.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm pulling up a picture of this individual now. It's
Okay.
not at all what I would have expected.
Yep.
I was expecting, something in armor,
Hmm.
not a fucking fish.
Yep.
That looks like an apple,
Yep.
kind of.
Yep.
But okay. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna move the fuck on to Shantae.
You're gonna dance like the Truffle
Uh,
King.
before we get into any of the dances, we're going to talk about some of the more general items that Shantae can find and use in her games. Not all these are really
Okay.
combat, and they're not going to really be great in Smash. Like, float muffins give you protection against pits. Not going to have any utility in Smash. Just
Hmm.
not going to fucking happen. Vanish Cream
Nope.
lets you walk past enemies. Maybe. Maybe. I'm going to say not going to fucking happen,
Maybe.
though. But she does have pike balls, which are, metal spiked balls that are going to be floating around her that spin around her body and damage any enemy that comes to touch her for a limited time. That's pretty cool. I don't
Hmm.
know what would be the best move for that to be. Maybe the extra skill, maybe a standard special, maybe a down. Could be any of those things. She also has flash bolts or fireballs that she can throw out. That's
Nice.
that's everything from the first game that would really work out. The different games have different items. You know how this typically goes. She has a
Hmm.
flamethrower item that she can use.
Nice.
She has upgrades to the pike ball. She's got storm clouds that she can throw out, which will deal electric attacks. Which
Also
is
cool.
Like the fact that it's an actual storm cloud is like, wow, okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's very close to fulfilling my dream of a playable Krako Junior.
that's kind of weird, but okay.
Yeah,
She can summon a bubble shield, which will protect her from projectiles. She also has a mirror shield, which will, you know, reflect projectiles. Kind of how that usually goes.
mm-hmm.
She's got her pirate gear, which is from the third game, such as a flintlock pistol. She has a pirate hat that she can use to float over hazards. It's like she can go flying across with it. She has a scimitar that she can swing. A fucking cannon. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. There's also
Nice.
pirate boots, but those just, make her run faster or run over lethal lava, which doesn't really work in Smash either. But I do think that the pirate gear would make a great alternate costume for her. But
I
absolutely.
think Shantae would be the ultimate player for the lava game, or is lava.
What?
If you're playing against her, I'm just saying she would cheat.
She would treat. You dropped out there.
Yes, no, no, I'm saying she would cheat.
Oh, she would cheat. I mean, then
Yeah,
just don't play against her on a lava stage. Come on now. You know how it
yeah,
goes.
just slap those boots on, and the floor is lava. It doesn't matter. She
The
can walk on that floor without recompense.
Sure. Half Genie Hero introduced some items like Mega Shampoo, which will increase the damage dealt by her hair attacks. Cream, which
Nice.
will increase the speed of her whipping hair attacks, which is kind of nuts. She can wear bikini armor to reduce her damage by half. Yeah,
Is she
that's a
Tharja?
thing. What? No, she's not Tharya. No, no, no.
Okay.
That is not a thing at all. But the real interesting thing that she can do, the really cool thing that people care about, is her transformations.
Oh
Shantae
yeah.
loves to dance, and when she dances, she uses magic to become a monkey, an elephant, a spider, a harpy, a tinkerbat, a mermaid, a crab, a bat, a mouse, a dryad, a blobfish, a Jimjug, Sophia the Third from Blaster Master, a newt, and a gastro drill. She transforms into a lot
Oh
of
man.
things. Now, most of these are for like platforming or puzzle solving. Like the monkey can climb up walls, the harpy can fly, the spider can climb in the background of the stage, which is a really interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
Mermaid can swim, the bat can use sonar, the blobfish. I don't really understand the blobfish. Apparently, the blobfish can bounce around on enemies for combos, but if you miss, then you get hurt, which is weird, but okay.
It should be in Smash. Blobfishes should always be playable.
I mean, that would be funny. So that there
Yeah.
was a lot of other transformations that he considered for her that just didn't meet the cut, such as a succubus, a tiger, a fiddler crab instead of it being a regular crab, a pill bug, a frilled lizard, or even a naga. I'm pretty sure that in the poll I voted for naga because
Nice.
holy shit, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these aren't really for attacking. I mean, you can attack. The elephant can charge forward. The monkey, when it's on a wall, can zip off of it and towards an opponent, kind of like Spider-Man's classic web zip attack. The
Oh
spider
yeah.
can shoot out venom. The harpy has claws. The tinkerbat has a scimitar.
Mm-hmm.
Mermaids can shoot out bubbles. Crabs have their claws. Bat, I don't think the bat has an attack. Neither does the mouse. No, the mouse has a mouse bite. All right, was not aware of that.
Nice.
Sophia the Third, obvious, she's a fucking tank. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Dudes can dash onto enemies. The drill can fucking drill. Jim Jug and Dryad don't have attacks. But she has a lot of cool things she can do that. I don't really know if she has a moveset, how many of these would really be used. I feel like the elephant is a for sure guarantee, with a
Mm-hmm.
strong chance of the monkey. The rest I'm kind of unsure about, but she's got other utilities as well, such as like in the fireball, the various shields. Having
Mm-hmm.
floating spike balls around her to protect her, that's really cool looking. Granted,
Yeah, it
Mega
is.
Man kind of already has that idea, but
Mm-hmm.
but
Oh well.
still cool.
Yeah. My question is, how would the transformation set? Would they be something where she, you hit a certain attack button and she turns into that for a split second, and or would she actually transform with a special move and be that character so long as you are? so long as it's activated.
I mean, it has to be a transformation. If she just does a charge like the elephant, or if it, like spectrally surrounds her or something while she charges forward, that'd be lame, and it would not be well representative of the character at all. Which adds a little
You
bit of
like
complexity to
need
developing her,
illusions.
but this is our thing and not predicting that shit. So
Right, right, right. So she would be so essentially you would choose a couple like maybe three transformations and then it would be a full move set.
yeah, or you could even,
Nice.
or even it. Another possibility is that if if you have more that you want to use, or if you have enough moves for the other things, you can try and tie maybe 3 or 5 transformations all to the standard special. Hold down the button she's seen dancing, and then you can kind of like with Shulk, where he can choose the different attributes by holding down the special button and then tilting with the control stick. Maybe you could
Hmm.
hold down the special button, tilt the control stick around, pick a transformation, and then something happens. Like maybe the elephant charges. Maybe the monkey can climb or do its attack. It's not a strong idea. I feel like if you're going to do it that way, she has to be stuck in a transformation for a set time, which would alter some of her
Hmm.
moves and make some of her moves not usable. Like
Yeah,
if she's the monkey, her regular smash attacks aren't really going to be happening.
right.
But maybe that means you could
Okay.
climb up walls or something,
Hmm. Hmm.
or temporarily have the wall
Nice.
jump ability or something. It's probably best just to have it pick out certain transformations and put them on certain moves. But it's still a cool idea to think about. Okay, what if you could map all of them to the standard special and then just rotate to which one you want? But actuality wise, it's
Right.
probably gonna be really difficult to conceptualize.
Right. But it's an idea that's there and you'd rather have something as sinewy as this to work with as opposed to something more basic.
Yeah,
Because transformations would certainly be a part of the moveset, and she has a lot more going for her too. The only detractor I can even think of off the top of my head is she wouldn't be the first character that attacks with her hair.
no, she wouldn't be,
Just,
but she would be the
but
cooler
that's also
character
what.
to attack with her hair.
Oh yeah, it's true. Shovel Knight's greatest asset in this case, I think, is simply the fact that you can probably get away with using all of the relics in the moveset as well.
Mm,
So that would come down to
I don't think that's true. I
yeah,
don't think you could use all of them.
yeah, yeah. Which ones do you think would be put on the table?
I mean,
Cut
you
off
could
the
definitely
table,
use the
rather.
spike balls slash fireballs. You could have that mix in there. You can even have the fire projectile attack if you want that. The Stormcloud I think would be difficult.
Yep.
And then you also think
The
about, are we doing her? Are we going to give any of her pirate gear a chance?
oh,
And
I
then
said
which
Shovel
one?
Knight.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Shantae.
No,
Okay, my
I
bad.
was looking
See,
at
you've
first.
been cutting out a little, so I haven't. So I've been missing a couple things that you were saying. So I assumed since we
Okay,
were still talking about her.
is that where we're going then? Okay, I will lean in toward the microphone. I just know that in the last couple episodes, your mic has been quieter than mine, so I was trying to like lean back so that way it'd be on a more similar level.
Well,
And
maybe
apparently
that's just
that
something
cuts
I'll
me
look
out.
into it.
Okay, okay. Well, in that case, I'll lean more. I'll lean forward. I now we know the experiment is a little bit of a failure on my end,
Just like you.
as usual. Yeah, I know. I'm working that out though, for the first time ever. I think I'm proud of that. Eh, anyway, no, yeah, like Shantae, I agree. There's so much to work with her. Like it would be impossible to do all the transformations.
Oh yeah.
Essentially, it would be impossible to use all of the different shampoos and creams. Let's just get that out of the way.
I mean, they just wouldn't be used.
Exactly.
There's no way.
Exactly. Yep.
They're stat boost items. No.
Hmm. Hmm. Unless one of her specials would be putting on the shampoo, that would be bizarre, and I would rather not because there's just more important facets of the game. As far as Shovel Knight goes, what I was implying there earlier was that all of the relics that are at his disposal, I don't like. You can lean into it. You can say, hey, he could take some of the guises of Spectre Knight and attack in a way similar to him, which is similar to how if you've seen the Hollow Knight Silk Song trailer, it's very similar to how Hornet would attack from a diagonal angle or jump from a diagonal angle or he could be like King Knight and have throwing cars. But I think with Shovel Knight it would ultimately be his relics stand on their own merits and the reality would probably be a Shovel Knight moveset based on Shovel Knight's items.
Yeah, I
Just
definitely
the
feel like
stuff.
if Shovel Knight gets in, his moveset should be based on himself and what he can use, and not, oh, what can the Plague Knight do?
Right.
What can the Spectre Knight do? Like, if you're gonna think of it that way, then make the Plague Knight or a Spectre Knight a character. Don't.
Yeah.
Granted, Smash used to do this. They haven't really done this much, starting with Brawl. But like Melee, they would Lucas, but that was a clone character still. But
Hmm.
Smash 64, Smash Melee, they had a habit of taking like, oh, here's a character. Let's give them moves from this other character. Hello, Ness.
Hmm.
Enough of that.
Hmm.
If the character doesn't,
Yeah.
unless the character doesn't have much that they can do, let them do what they can do.
Yeah. Like I'm sure the Truffle King has a moveset in there somewhere. Maybe we should have been talking about.
Mm,
No, I agree. But no, the Shovel Knight does have the triples on his one thing going for him, but then the relic list, engaging in the Flare Wand would be an easy. Maybe you can actually have a down special where he swaps between certain relics that are allotted to, say, the standard special. Like the Flare Wand could be an easy standard, but the Dust Knuckles could also be an easy standard, or the Throwing Anchor could be an easy standard. You can toss a few his way.
I mean, Dust
Or
Knuckles sound more like a side to me,
yeah, that's true. I was reading off my list, and then I was
but
like,
so
oh,
does a
I
throwing
wonder if he'll
anchor.
notice. Yeah, Dust Knuckles and Throwing Anchor could be sides. Alchemy Coin could probably be a standard.
Warhorn would be a
Um,
good down.
Warhorn would be a good down. The Mobile Gear makes sense as a down. Two as a potential strange mobile recovery thing, or it could be an easy up. But the Propeller Dagger feels more natural for that.
I mean, it's called
Uh,
Propeller Dagger.
exactly. Fishing Rod's going to make it in there somewhere as a grip at the very least. Chaos Sphere, another completes the trifecta of a standard special, probably. Um,
Maybe it's a Final Smash.
maybe, but Truple Dance, my friend. That
True, true,
that
fair
should
enough.
also be in circle. Yep, yep. Um, yeah. What it basically comes down to, I think, is you look at the list of plausible items and transformations as applicable for each of these characters. And it comes down to what do you think would bring a more interesting moveset to the game as maybe, and if you wanted to stretch it a little further, a more interesting overall world with the IP, I suppose.
Yeah.
Uh, I do have some initial thoughts, but I do want to hear yours as well.
Okay. So first of all, I'm looking at Shovel Knight's moves here. And if I was to make a move set really quick out of these, what I would say is Flare Wand is going to be your standard. Dust Knuckles is your side. The Warhorn is your down. Propeller Dagger is your up. Your extra skill is the Chaos Sphere, or maybe the Throwing Anchor. I'd have to watch both of those to see how they work to make the real decision there. And for the Final Smash, you can go for the whole triple thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Shantae, it's a little bit harder to nail out what her moves would be. Like I like the idea of
yeah.
the elephant being a dash that she uses for her side. That's awesome. The
Hmm.
spike balls surrounding her, I think, could make a really good extra skill. Could even do a standard or a down, but I kind of like that spot for the extra skill. From there, it gets kind of difficult. I mean, you could do fireballs or flamethrower for her base standard, or maybe throwing down a thundercloud to be a little bit different. That could be fun. She could use the harpy form to fly up. Maybe the spider can. I really don't know how to use the spider unless it's like a down special and it spits out acid, which is a possibility. I don't think she's
Right.
used Tinkerbat, Mermaid, or Crabadle, or the Bat, or the Mouse. Dryad! Thinking about this one. The Dryad in Shantae, it's pretty much just. She can create oranges by giving up magic. And then the gym jug is similar. She can create gems by giving up magic. I'm
Okay.
trying to think if there's a way that you can do that. Like maybe convert the dryad into. She heals? Like maybe she has a magic meter
Hmm.
or something. And she can become the dryad form to heal up to a small
Hmm.
amount. But she can't move when she's in the dryad or attack. So she's very vulnerable at this point. And you have to, transform out of it to be able to do anything else again. possibility there. I mean, the Sophia is obviously not going to be a power moveset. That kind of can't happen really. And I don't see the new or the
Sophia can
drill.
be a character in itself.
I'm not
Yep.
sure what a final smash for her would be. I mean, Blobfish would be funny. Not gonna lie, Blobfish would be very very funny. But I feel
Hmm.
like more likely a final smash for her would involve Risky Boots showing up and the two of them working together in some fashion.
That would be interesting.
I really want to see the monkey somewhere in the moveset, but I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure how. Actually, you know what? Maybe the monkey works like this. She can wall clean. She can wall clean and wall jump, but when she is doing these actions, her model changes into the monkey,
Hmm.
which would be very interesting because that means her hitbox is going to be a lot smaller. It's going to be harder to hit her when she's holding onto a wall. That's cool.
True.
I like that a
And you can also have
lot.
that the monkey bullet could probably be incorporated somewhere into there if you're having a full
Yeah, if
where
she's
she like
clinging
zooms
onto the
across.
wall, she could zoom across. That would be a very unique mechanic that we could see. I would love to
Yeah,
see
that
that.
would be interesting. That would be interesting. I do like how Shantae's problem is simply having too much to work with because you would rather have. Um, it's a lot like when you're not like you would prefer this sort of reference, but it's a lot like in singing, where people who would judge you based on your singing ability would prefer you to be sharp, where you're singing higher than what you should be, than flat, where you're singing lower and you're out of breath. Because they're like, hey, you have something to work with, so we can coach you. So in Shantae's thing, we just it's a similar case where we're saying, oh, there's just so much to work with. How do we narrow it down
Yeah.
to centralize it and make it shiny?
I've also come to realize that a lot of the characters that I really like and want to see in Smash are characters that have a lot of tools, and it's hard to pick out what moves you want to give them. Like Shantae, Steve from
Hmm.
Minecraft, the Dragonborn, Mega Man.exe, or any Mega Man, really. They
Yep.
all have a
Yep.
ton of options, and it's just a matter of, okay, fuck, how do you narrow it down into not only was what would be best symbolic of the character, but also what would work in Smash and what would be cool, unique, and just fun.
Yeah. Yeah, like Shovel Knight would be I think a very well-rounded character, and there is a lot to work with to create a move set that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm struggling to see how he would be anywhere near the level of individuality as Shantae. And that's kind of where I'm standing right now.
He's got some cool stuff. There's no denying it. But I do have to
Of
say, the
course.
fact that Shantae can transform into all these different animal forms and do these different techniques, like even though the elephant's primary thing is to charge forward, that's nothing to say
Hmm.
that if she was able to keep different transformation forms for a set time and have slightly altered movesets, it's an elephant. It can swing its
Oh yeah.
trunk around. It can gore you with its horns. Okay, actually, her elephant doesn't have horns. Tusks. My bad. Whatever. But it can still stomp or kick. The monkey can claw, whip its tail, smack you around, headbutt. The spider, it can bite and it's got pointy legs and it can spit acid, so there's that. Harpies have
Hmm.
claws and it can also smack you around. There's all kinds
Yeah.
of possibilities here. And then there's Shovel Knight as well, who has his shovel sword thing. And then he can throw fireballs. He can phase past enemies or go over spikes. He can charge
Yeah.
forward with Dust Knuckles, throw a goddamn anchor, turn enemies into a gold. I don't really think would work in Smash. I don't see it. I don't. I mean, as a victory pose, he can be seen flipping a coin. Sure,
Yeah.
that's possible.
Yeah.
But as a fighting moveset, I just don't see it. Mobile Gear, I don't know about that one. It's one I would have to see how that works to really get it. It looks like he's just running really fast and living an after image of himself in the pictures, but whatever. Warhorn would be unique. It's essentially a wind box all around him, but out of sound.
Hmm.
Propeller dagger, I can't see a good image of how he's using it, but I've seen
Hmm.
the concept art of the thing, and it's like, okay, that's really strange, but it's different. So there's an idea. I don't know how the fuck you expect the fishing rod to be used, but I also wouldn't have expected Isabel to be able to grapple enemies from afar using the fish rod and throw them around. Who saw that
Yeah, I
coming
was.
in Smash?
That move
Literally
is
no one.
so annoying.
It's so fucking. And then she pairs it with her gyroid rocket too. It's
Mm-hmm.
like
Oh
fucking
yeah.
Isabel, fucking Isabel,
Uh-huh.
man.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know.
One of my least favorite characters to fight because of that.
I mean, it's true. She's good. She's a pretty good
Mm-hmm.
character, but going up against her can be a real pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Chaos Sphere. I mean, it bounces around.
Bouncy, bouncy. Yeah.
It's ball. I
Mm-hmm.
don't got much out of that. Like Shuffle. These two characters are ones where we have an example of character has a lot of possibility, and I don't immediately know how they would work because there's just a lot. And the Shovel Knight, who is, all right, here are a limited list of moves. I immediately have a move set, which is both good, but also, you don't really have as much playtime.
Right,
There's
right.
less chance to mix it up or make it individual. Whereas I imagine most people making Shovel Knight moveset probably fairly similar. Most people making a Shantae moveset probably a little bit different.
I agree with that because most people with Shovel Knight, they'll say, the standard is the player one does
Mm,
not Repeller Dagger. Downbeat can be Warhorn. It can also be Mobile Gear because Mobile Gear works like imagine a 2D Mario game, and you
sure.
have that platform that where you can walk on one side and it leans a certain way, or you walk on the other side and it leans
Uh,
another way. Yeah. So the Mobile Gear is that. So you can stand on one side of it and it speeds forward that way. Stand on the other side, speeds forward that way. It has that like sharp edged wheel. So you can damage opponents with that
hmm.
and
That is
speed around.
not what this
And
picture was
yeah.
showing me. Oh, I see it now. Okay, I was looking at the picture wrong. Okay, I'm on board. I understand that now. And the funny thing is,
Yeah.
I'm realizing after I was saying what I was saying about Shovel Knight, where you make a moveset with Shovel Knight, it's going to be fairly close to most people. My number
Hmm.
one most wanted character, Gino. 95% of the movesets that I see people make for Gino, the exact same. Because Gino
Yeah.
doesn't have much to him. He does not have many
Hmm.
different things. My moveset that I made for him on Smashtopia, he has one original move because, well, there's not enough special moves for him when you include the extra skill.
Yeah.
So I had
But
to make up
there's also
something.
something to be said for the characters who are very hyped but have less frills, like Gino, like Terry, for instance. Not that he was super hyped, but he's a character who came along and like, oh, we know how this is work, and then the Sakura presentation, you're like,
Ryu.
what? Ryu as well, both Ryu
Ryu
and
is
Terry.
exactly what everybody would have expected him to be.
Yeah, yeah. Ryu is, and he's still one of my favorite characters to play as. At least Smash 4 he was,
He's fun.
and Banjo Kazooie as well. Is a very basic move set that most besides the side special probably most people would have always pictured that's how they would play. So there's something to be said for that too, like a character where where you're generally going with it, with little variance between moveset possibilities. It's still a character with an interesting background that can get people excited. So we're I Shantae and Shovel Knight are also in my mind they're on fairly even ground, but they've both established the Nintendo indie scene for sure.
Yeah.
Well regarded characters. So the idea behind choosing between them is, do we choose the character that is pre-established essentially, or do we choose the character who there's some more wiggle room that we have to work with to get it right, but when you get it right, it'll probably be, objectively like being interesting is not something you'd be objective about, but for the sake of the argument, objectively more varied.
Arguably more.
Yeah, arguably more. And that's kind of
It's.
where we stand.
I feel like a lot of this is. I agree both characters would be good in Smash. Would I prefer one over the other? Certainly.
Oh yeah.
But if one got in over the other, I don't think I'd be upset about it. Now, if Daisy
Oh,
got in over Waluigi, that might upset me. But,
oh
that would never happen. But between
no,
Shantae and Shovel Knight, one gets in, I'll cheer for him. Sure. Have all the characters that have gotten into Smash DLC already been ones I wanted? No, not at
Mm-hmm.
all. I don't give two fucks about Terry outside of Smash. That's not to say that I
Yeah.
think King of Fighters shouldn't have gotten a character, but he was never one that was ever going to be on my radar. But I'm happy
Mm-hmm.
for his fans, and he's fun to play. His stage is
Yeah.
fucking amazing. It's one of my favorite stages.
Oh
The
yeah.
the the bounce back mechanic on the walls. Holy shit, that's cool. That's one of
Mm-hmm.
the coolest things they could have come up with. I love it.
Yeah.
So I would love to have either of these characters in, but the nature of Smash or Dash is choose one.
Yeah. Exactly.
I I have a lean. I'm sure you do as well.
As do I. As do I.
And I imagine for most people, it's probably going to be what they're more familiar with. I think that's generally the case for most characters that people want to see in Smash. If you're more familiar with one game or another, you're going to want a character from that game. That's just natural. And these
Yeah.
characters are both pretty damn close in terms of what they could bring to Smash and how they could fight. That I feel like it's very much a toss up between the two. That said,
True.
I are you ready to make your declaration? I should say actually.
Yes, but I also have a quick question.
Go for it.
The bounce back mechanic on Terry's stage. What
Okay.
if there were a hazard toggle that allowed you to use that on any stage?
Honestly, I want more toggles. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
a hazard toggle. Second of all,
Mm-hmm.
a moving platform toggle. Because
Mm-hmm.
some stages, it's like, oh hey, let's turn off the hazards of this stage because they're a pain in the ass. It's like, oh, now the platforms don't move anymore, and they actually made the stage cool and not just another version of this other stage. Well, that's fucking sad. I also
Mm-hmm.
want a boss toggle for those stages that have bosses. Like, I would love Wily Castle if we could just turn off the
Oh
Yellow
yeah.
Devil, but keep the
Mm-hmm.
platforms moving. Or
Mm-hmm.
there's other stages that have. Oh wait, are there other stages that have bosses but also hazards that aren't the boss?
I can only think of the Metroid stage in Smash 4 that's not.
But that had hazards other than Ridley.
Yes.
Okay, I mean those little enemies, I guess, but they only appeared when Ridley appeared.
Okay. Okay. I guess not.
And I guess maybe you could argue uh, the
Gar Plains.
find me stage. Galwar Plains doesn't have hazards outside of Metal Face. What are you talking about?
The ones that the platforms fall.
Because Metal Face slashed them.
Oh, true. I thought you can activate that on your own. It's been too
No.
long since I played that stage, apparently. Uh,
But in the
yeah.
event that we did have another stage that had hazards and then also had a boss that was separate from the hazards, a boss talk would be lovely. And then
Hmm.
that knockback one would really only apply to stages that have walk offs. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'd be fine with that being a toggle. But then it kind of removes any of the coolness from the King of Fighters Stadium as a stage, which
Oh yeah.
on second thought, maybe I don't want it to be a toggle because then anything that would make that stage unique is gone. It's just the
What
same thing as
if
any other walk off stage.
what if there were a toggle having a Truffle King dance on every stage? I can hear you working. You're excited for this.
So between Shovel Knight and Shantae, what I'm thinking
Hmm.
here is which character do I personally think would be more fun to play as?
Hmm.
And then for me, that answer is Shantae. I love the transformation
Interesting.
aspect. It would be crazy cool, crazy unique. Nobody else has that. Sure, other characters have turned into other characters in the past, like Zelda Sheik, but transforming into different animals to do different attacks. I mean, I love that shit. I've been wanting this is a little bit different, but I've been wanting a summoner like character for a long time. Byleth would have been great for that. Okay, like hey, okay, have Byleth. Okay, now they summon Claude to do a bow attack. Now they summon Edelgard to an axe attack. That would have been way better than what we got. But
Hmm.
oh well. Shantae not a summoner, but she's still a transformer, which would be a brand new niche to have into Smash, and I am for it.
Yeah, it would be really something else. Really, really something unique. Uh, You mentioned having leans, and when we got into this, I think that you were already leaning Shantae and I was leaning Shovel Knight, just for the sake of these were games that we've. I don't know if you've played Shantae actually, but you're more familiar with
I
her
haven't played
games, and
it.
I'm.
It's not my kind of game. I would not be any
Hmm.
good at it at all. But I'm definitely a
Hmm.
lot more familiar with it than Shovel Knight.
Right, and meanwhile, I'm more familiar with Shovel Knight since I've played the entirety of each campaign as opposed to playing one game in the series.
Right.
So that's generally where we stand. And it's still difficult for me to fully grasp it because Shantae naturally, and I totally agree, has greater moveset potential in spades and would bring something totally different to Smash. Whereas Shovel Knight, there's things that he would bring to the table that are different because most unique characters, I mean, they're unique for a reason, but the level at which he would be bringing these unique attributes would be admittedly and objectively much lesser than what Shantae could do. So it comes down to, for me, judging between the two characters for their moveset capabilities and also just thinking about the overall presentation of the titles that I have played and just basing it off of what I know from each character. So, you veer Shantae, and I veer. This is going to actually probably surprise you. Shovel Knight.
That does not surprise me at all.
No, I was gonna vote Shantae. I was gonna do it because I don't think that I had a great initial argument, and then we are talking about all of Shantae's different abilities, and then you actually came in and started building move sets out of thin air for Shovel Knight, and I was like, yeah, that could work.
I mean, it's literally what I do.
Yeah,
I look at a
so
character and think, how can I make a moveset for them? Some characters are a lot easier to come up with than others. Shantae will take a little bit
yeah.
more work. Give me some time. Give me like an hour or two to look up some videos of
Oh
her and
yeah.
see how things actually move about and how they actually attack. I can give you a moveset. Shovel Knight,
Oh yeah.
granted, I would still want to watch videos of him to see how these things are actually used. But just looking at the information I have here in front of me from the wiki, I have a moveset.
Yep. And there's the Shovel Knight Dig coming out soon too. That we could have probably pulled stuff from that, but alas, not yet.
Not yet. So with that, everybody, we once again have a tie. I say Shantae.
It
Jonno says Shovel Knight. So there's only one thing that we can do:
have a tiebreaker.
put them in the Hunger Games.
That too. Ooh, I wonder
So
how that would go down.
viewers, however many of you there are out there, let us know.
Hmm.
Who would you rather see be out of the Smash? Shantae or Shovel Knight? Your votes will determine the winner of this episode.
We will put in the votes.
We
And
will. We
it'll be
have not
grand.
had very many ties.
No, we haven't. I think the first episode we ever did there was for Smasher Dash there was a tie
There was.
of Mach Rider and Balloon Fighter,
Yep.
and then I can't recall if there ever was ever since.
According to my notes, there weren't, which is weird because I thought there was, which is strange.
I don't think so. If there were, it might have been a tiebreaker guest, and
That's
then the
true.
guest probably just
That's
was
true.
like,
That's probably a good idea.
yeah,
Because like I'm looking at our all of our episodes, and all of them indicate that we have a winner. So if we did a tie, we just don't remember it.
right, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe one of our loyal fans will go back and listen through all of the hours of Smasher Dash just to figure it out.
Very possible. Very possible indeed.
Admittedly, I was thinking about that too, and I was like, "Hey, another tie would be." And these characters both have a high pedigree, so I kind of figured that it would be a fun one to see unfurl in this way.
Indeed.
Yeah, but moving on.
Moving the fuck on.
You say that like we meandered.
No, never.
Oh, never.
No, we weren't talking about Hat Kid or Byleth at all.
Trouble dancer.
Wow, you can't even say the word anymore, can you?
I don't know what is happening to me.
Maybe you need to
Why,
go to
Lister?
bed
Why?
because I have Karsty.
Well, we're recording at 9 a.m., so going to bed right now would And
Wait, it's 9 a.m. for you? It's 3 p.m. for me.
where are you in the world?
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
I don't know, but there's an insurgence of fans who are excited to stump for her and smash on Smashboards right now.
There's people on Reddit that stump for Home Depot. Like,
Yep,
what the fuck is the internet? I don't even.
Carmen Sandiego is in Home Depot. Oh my
Corey in the
gosh.
house is there too. It's like Reddit. Real talk here. The fuck, man. The fuck.
Corey Baxter, man. Corey
They
was in
also
that
want
house, baby
Shrek.
Corey.
It's like, guys, why?
I want Shrek as well.
Obviously they're
I
trolling,
actually had,
but what the fuck? Find a
I
better
had a I
troll.
had a dream. I had a dream of that Shrek was playable in Melee when I was a
Speaking
kid.
of meandering,
Yep. Okay,
so I
the
think it's about
next
time that we move
matchup.
on to the next matchup,
Yes, it is.
which is going to be two very brutal, fatal,
Some might say
murderous.
villainous. Yep.
I mean, one of them's definitely a villain. The other one is sometimes just confused. He
So
he
are you
he, he
talking
took a
about
cookie from a bad guy and he's like, "You're my friend now." The bad guy's just like, "Sure,
are you
sure."
talking about Nightmare and Scorpion or are you talking about you and I? Description.
I might be talking about you and I.
Nah, that makes
I'm
sense.
the villain. You're the one that gets confused.
I was kind of thinking the same thing, yeah. Makes sense. So yeah, Nightmare and Scorpion. Nightmare from Soul Calibur slash Soul Edge and Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. And I think that he also appeared on a Putt Putt game. So there's that.
Wait, what?
What?
What did you say about Putt Putt?
S- Scorpion crossed over into Putt Putt?
No, he didn't.
Okay. Well, I guess he was just from Mortal Kombat then.
Yes.
Hmm.
So
So
who
yeah.
is the Scorpion? Is it the Scorpion King? Did they make a movie about this guy? Did Dwayne the Rock Johnson play him in a movie?
You know what's funny? The Scorpion King was the I
A
remember the
bad
Scorpion
movie.
King. Yeah, and I don't remember it for being a bad movie. I was like eight, but it's the that I ever saw where someone was beheaded, and I was freaked out for like a week. And I
The
was like, "What
Scorpion.
the hell?"
The one
So
thing I will say about the Scorpion King as a movie is that it's a better movie than the CGI of the Scorpion King in The Mummy 2.
that was awesome too, wasn't it?
Good movie, terrible CGI.
Hmm. Hmm.
Absolutely
Perhaps they're
abysmal.
both better movies
In the Mortal Kombat movie,
than the Mortal Kombat movie, but the Mortal Kombat movie might also be a better movie than the Mummy reboot.
which is also a better movie than Twilight. Shots
I
fired.
agree. Not a better soundtrack though. Not like that matters.
Scorpion
Oh
and Sub
man,
Zero still a better love story than Twilight.
I agree. You and I still a better love story than Twilight.
That's debatable, but true.
We'll ask the fans, just like we did with
Vote
Shovel Knight and
now.
Shantae. Scorpion though, he's not the Scorpion King per se. He's actually named Hanzo Hasashi, and he's actually better known as Scorpion, or in Japanese as Zenkatsuhito, which translates to full Scorpion Man,
What?
which, in my opinion, should have been his name everywhere. Clearly, so he is a ninja who come back from the grave. He's been resurrected. He's the mascot of Mortal Kombat, I would say, alongside Sub-Zero, who coincidentally looks a whole lot like him. And apparently, he's one of the few original characters that debuted in the first Mortal Kombat in the arcades that's still in Mortal Kombat to this day.
Yes.
And alongside Raiden and Sub-Zero. And so yeah, as you're saying, Scorpion has been let's say guided down the wrong path throughout his esteemed career in Mortal Kombat, where he follows the bad guys as a kind of an anti-hero or just confused and following them up to a certain point kind of situation. But generally speaking, yeah, he's more of an anti and more of a supporting character, or especially after apparently he's gone from kind of a zombie-esque form into more of a human form in the more recent game. And
Different
he is
timelines,
capable, different
reboots, and
timelines.
such.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Scorpion is a brutal character. Mortal Kombat, as far as I know, is still banned in Japan for that reason.
Yup.
Uh,
Which is why we
Mortal
will never
Kombat.
see Scorpion in Smash.
Yep, Scorpion is the face of controversy due to blood and gore in gaming. Like, period. When like Mortal Kombat back in the 90s was associated with all of our parents and newscasters and politicians' poor opinions on video games because these fatalities would be going on. People would be ripping each other's intestines out on screens and arcades that kids would be in. They'd be like, "Holy moly, my 9-year-old is playing this."
Beating people
So
to death with their own spines.
yeah, it's admittedly it's a little much. Even for me to play through that game. I'm just like, wow. But fatalities back in the day, they Mortal Kombat and Scorpion as the face of Mortal Kombat really pushed the envelope on what could be accepted in gaming and broke barriers that, in my opinion, shouldn't exist, falling under the statute of, freedom of expression and speech and in art mediums. So good for them. Although Japan still doesn't like it.
No, they do not.
So there's that. And Scorpion has a number of like spear and fire-based attacks at his disposal. That's kind of his main bag. And that's Scorpion, or full Scorpion man.
To clarify something there, he doesn't actually
Hmm.
have spear attacks. He does have a weapon. He does have an attack that's called
Oh right, it's a
spear,
chain. It's a spearhead attached to a chain, rather.
or yeah, it's a chain or a rope depending on the game. But he
Hmm.
mainly, as far as his weapons are concerned, it's more like daggers or knives that he'll use. Although he has also used axes in the past.
Okay, the axe I did not know, so
It's
that could be a
not
plus.
in all the games. I was just
Right.
looking through. Oh, what weapons has he used? Like, oh shit, he's used axes. That's cool.
Hmm.
But Scorpion's opponent in this Smash Dash is technically not a real character.
Is he from Kirby?
No, not that Nightmare.
Okay. Okay.
Nightmare is. How do I put this? We'll go with the word amalgamation or maybe parasite, possession
Yeah.
of sorts.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
in the Soul Calibur games, there is this evil sword called Soul Edge. It's this massive honking sword, kind of comparable to Cloud's Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII, which has, it's slightly organic. It's got flesh, and it's got a gigantic eyeball in it, which moves and blinks. It's a real living
Ah,
thing. It's
sounds like the girl I dated in high school.
yes, actually, it's the exact same as that. Soul Edge has the spirit of Inferno inside of it. Inferno being a demonic-ish being of fire, evil. There's no real doubt about that. Soul
Hmm.
Edge has been looking for a host that would be able to, whose body would be able to physically wield it, and that it could take over and use it for its own purposes, tricking a character into becoming their servant more or less. It originally found Cervantes the pirate, didn't work out with him. But the main host that is popular for being associated with Nightmare is Siegfried Stauffen, from
Yep.
who did appear in the first Soul Edge game and then the later Soul Calibur titles. But you only see Siegfried himself originally in the first game. After that, he has taken on the Soul Edge sword and become Nightmare, the Azure Knight, who is very demonic and beastly looking and just utterly brutal as fuck.
Hmm.
And in later titles, it's actually a spin-off title, oddly enough. Siegfried actually separated himself from the sword. He got free of the curse and became his own separate character again in the playable roster.
Hmm.
Which then leads you to go, well, okay, then what happened to Nightmare? His host is gone, so he's just a sword now, right? Well, yes, but actually no. Instead, what happens is Inferno is able to possess the discarded armor that Siegfried used to wear and create a brand new nightmare out of that, which
Hmm.
itself also did not last. And then I believe in Soul Calibur 5, they found a new host who went by the name of Graf Dumas, which some speculate has connections to Raphael from the previous games. Which, if it's me, I'll be very disappointed about that because Raphael is one of my favorite characters, and he's
Hmm.
not in the new rosters. I don't think he is, at least. And I am very, very disappointed about that. It pissed me off when I couldn't use Killick as the bow staff fighter anymore, and he just became an edge master. And if they did this, if they got rid of my boy Raphael, mm mm,
At least Misango is still in the game.
no. Yeah, I'm looking at this here, and I don't think Raphael's in Soul Calibur 6. And I'm just like, why? Why would you do this to me? Fuck you. Fuck you. Raphael is
You
awesome.
shouldn't
Oh,
give him
wait,
your
hold
sales
on.
anymore.
Wait, wait. I'm wrong.
Oh, you're wrong. For
He
once.
is in Soul Calibur 6 as the playable character. It's just, it's not shown on his page on the wiki, but it is on the page for Soul Calibur 6. Okay,
Okay, nice.
sure. That's weird to me, but
But whatever.
sure.
Yep.
Oh, I know why. Because it's a fucking different timeline. And I was looking at the original timeline page, which he's
That's
not
annoying.
on. God damn. Apparently, Soul Calibur 6 starts a new timeline. And I was not aware of this.
Oh, okay then. Weird.
Good God. But, anyways, Nightmare is technically an evil form and a sword that is possessing somebody else and creates Nightmare out of that. It's not technically its own character, but he, as far as his own fighting style is concerned, big ass honking sword, heavy
Hmm.
slashes, wide ass slashes. He's fast, he's brutal, he gives no fuck, he gon' kill.
Hmm. You know what? He's as far as parasitic pure evil characters go, Nightmare's kind of a badass. Maybe more so than our old pal Black Shadow.
Oh, absolutely. He's a lot like
Yeah.
Black Shadow. You know, he's the best we're ever gonna get as another F-Zero character. But
Hmm.
no, Nightmare blows Black Shadow out of the fucking water. Like, there's it's not even a
Imagine Black
contest.
Shadow in Soul Calibur 7. Oh, that would be interesting.
I mean, Soul Calibur
Any,
does like its guest characters.
they do.
Geralt
They
is
do.
now in, or has been in, Soul Calibur.
Geralt has been astoundingly after all this time. I think Link was probably still the most revolutionary,
Yeah,
or
probably.
Yoda, if you want to go that way.
Actually, that's a good point. The Star Wars characters might have been.
Yeah, that was freaking huge. But Soul Calibur 2, to my understanding, was the first time guest characters were in the or included.
Yeah. It was
Okay,
Link in the
yeah.
GameCube version, Spawn in the Xbox version, and then oh, what's his name?
Hey Hachi.
Heihachi, thank you, in the PlayStation
Hmm.
version.
Spawn being in the game was just
Yeah,
tickling,
and
just like
I
random.
believe every Soul Calibur game since then has had at least one guest character, except for
I think so too.
maybe the PSP game may not have had a guest
Hmm.
character. I'm not sure.
Yeah, even Soul Calibur Legends on the Wii had.
Yeah, Lloyd Irving from the
Hmm.
Tales of games, which is like, okay, fuck what,
Yeah,
fuck what.
exactly. You know what? With Nightmare,
At least at the very least,
I
like the
was
main titles have. Not every spin-off has. Like I'm looking at Lost Swords, that doesn't have a
mhm,
guest character,
right, right.
but the
But
PSP game, not see- oh, it has, that's right, it had Kratos.
oh yeah, I remember this now.
Yeah,
Weird. There's somebody that goes by the name of Pizza Man Dude Guy. We've all been there before on YouTube, actually. Who I happened upon this video when I was looking at Nightmare's potential for
mm-hmm.
movesets, and I'll link that in the description. But for now, essentially, Pizza Man Dude Guy offered something that no one else did in their interpretations of a Nightmare moveset that I think would could set him ahead, and that is stance changes.
Oh,
where like Urshifu in the upcoming Pokemon DLC is kind of known as the stance change Pokemon, where I guess you evolve them at a certain point between two separate fighting stances. So Nightmare, as you're saying, he has these broad sword attacks, these shortened, more technical sword attacks, and they actually have different names because he gets into separate sword fighting stances to establish them. And apparently in Soul Calibur 6, there's actually a lot of different ways to engage in changing your stance and having a variety of moves still available while you're in these stances. So he has a knight side stance, a knight behind stance, and a knight lower stance.
makes sense.
So lower stance when he's walking closer to the earth and whatnot. Behind stance when he has a sword, to my recollection, held behind himself, obviously. And then his side stance where he's holding it normally or above his head. So, and encouraging different ways to use his standard attacks and different ways to therefore play Nightmare without the transformation mechanic necessarily, more so as engaging in a different sword fighting style. So I thought that was very interesting as something that he could do that not many other characters could. And then even if you had Urshifu in the game and he changed stances, or Heihachi in the game and he's changed stances, those are both brawl fighters. They're martial artists, not sword fighters.
Mm.
So it's interesting um, from that locale. So that's something I wanted to toss out there forthrightly. I don't know what your thoughts are, but there you go.
I mean, stances are definitely a thing that can be done with some characters. It adds some complexity to how they're developed, but also would add a new, unique way that a character can fight. It's
Right.
just in a way, it's essentially here's a character with multiple movesets. Here's how you can trigger going from one moveset to another without
Hmm.
going from Zelda into Sheik. It's Nightmare into Nightmare but different, and then into Nightmare but also different.
Yeah, precisely. So I would assume the side stance would be default, and then he can go into behind or lower stance if you want to. Scorpion, comparatively, it's kind of in a situation like Shovel Knight as far as I'm concerned. Like there's ways to combo and things that would be unique to a fighting character, but then you would have, I think, when you think of Scorpion,
Mm-hmm.
there's just certain attacks that would be included. Like most movesets that I came across have like let's get this out of the way right away. Have some form of the toasty fatality as the final smash. Where you're launching his the spearhead off of that chain into your opponent, and then the Mortal Kombat announcer appears, which is hilarious and awesome. And it's like finish them, and then Scorpion reveals his true face, which is like Ghost Rider-y apparently, and blasts them with fire that just sends them far. And if they're knocked out, you get a fatality announcement. So that would be fun. And just the idea of a more lithe ninja like character is not really expounded upon a lot in Smash. We have Sheik and we have Greninja, both of which, in my opinion, leave something to be desired from the ninja archetype
Agreed.
still. And then you can even have Hayabusa in there as a more traditional ninja, or with the dragon moves, and have Scorpion stand beside him, and there'd still be so much differentiation between the two characters. They would both still be pretty interesting. Scorpion approaches Ninja from like this demonic outset with his brutality and also with all those flame-based attacks, like fire breath and just forcing pools of fire to emerge from the earth, and even his up special could be the flame port where he bursts into flames and then reappears in another burst of flames as a different type of teleport. So there's all sorts of ways to work with that too, to his credit. So that would be a very interesting character as well, because I think although Nightmare is more evil, Scorpion comes from a place of
Hellspawn,
he's from a more, yeah, exactly, from a place of Hellspawn,
the
and he's
Nether
also just
Realms.
from a, yep, He's also from a game that just requires more ferocity than Soul Calibur, and that matured stance, I would imagine, is something that would translate into his character in Smash.
I mean, hell, the guy can even essentially merge his body with fire and pass through his opponent to burn them
Mm-hmm.
alive and then reappear on the other side. The dude's
Mm-hmm.
fucking brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a
And
reason
he's only
that
sometimes a
Mortal
bad guy.
Kombat is not going to Japan and that Scorpion can technically never appear in Smash because it's like they're not going to add a character that whose games are banned in Japan. That's just not fucking happening. But
No, no, it's not.
I mean, if that was going to affect our decision, we wouldn't even bother to talk about Mortal Kombat because what
Oh
was the
yeah, we're
point?
talking about it because the prospect is interesting and fun.
Right. It's what do we want,
Right.
and we want to consider Scorpion, and he's got some crazy ass tools. Like, there's the come over here or get over here or whatever the fuck it is, where he
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
throws his spear on the rope forwards, embeds it in somebody and pulls them close to him. That's obviously the standard special.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he could throw down the fire pools for his down special. The fiery teleport is up. Absolutely. The side is probably fire breath.
Yeah,
Probably.
it could be fire breath or flame bullet,
Yeah.
perhaps.
It could be something of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he would have as an extra skill. I mean, he's got plenty of other things that you can think of. But then Final Smash, yeah.
Oh, I
Well,
know.
it is weird for
He
me
can
because
throw an axe.
no, boring, boring. For some characters, that'd be cool. For Scorpion, no, that's boring. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
his Final Smash, while it is weird to think of him doing a fatality in Smash, because like, oh hey, look, he's ripping out Princess Peach's spine. Oh, oh God, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
He's got to have something of the sort. Like, if I'm trying to think of a in quotes here kid friendly Final Smash for Scorpion, it's going to be his flamethrower looking fatality, but instead of showing them like burning the flesh away, it just shows them being engulfed in flames. The flames kind of overtake the whole form, so you don't see what's behind them. We just hear, and then we just hear a lot of fire, and then we just cut back to the match, and they're being thrown somewhere over in the sky because they've just been hit with a lot of damage. That way, you don't see them actually being fucking murdered, but it's still the
Yeah.
idea of it. And of course, I
Mm-hmm.
had actually forgotten about the toasty thing. I had absolutely forgotten about that. But that absolutely needs to be involved in either his final smash or at least a taunt.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the two. There's
Mm-hmm.
no doubt about that. Part of me thinks
Yeah.
a taunt would be better, but
Mm-hmm.
considering it's part of his whole fatality thing in the early games, I feel like it needs to be in his final smash.
Yeah. Quite possibly indeed.
Yes.
Um, and then more for Nightmare too. Besides changing stances to change how he can attack, he also has Reconquista, his horse.
Now, I believe that's a new move to Soul Calibur 6 as well. I could be wrong about that. But, like, I was watching some
Mm-hmm.
videos of what he can do in his attacks, and it's like, okay, so there's a gigantic pillar of spiraling dark energy. That's pretty cool. Now he has a horse made out of this dark energy that he's riding on. Oh god, he's charging the opponent. What the shit, man?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Soul Calibur did not used to have these kinds of moves. What the shit happened?
Hmm. Maybe part of it is battling against something that's way more over the top, like Mortal Kombat,
I
because I
mean,
think Mortal Kombat 5 came out that same year.
I I don't
So
know. Wait, Mortal
I'm
Kombat.
throwing.
Wait, hold on. Mortal Kombat 5. They're on 11. How would Mortal Kombat 5 have come out in the same year as Soul Calibur 6?
This is how much I do not know about Mortal Kombat.
This is how much you do not know about other games that are not Nintendo.
You're in the same boat.
I know.
No.
But I
Okay,
think
Mortal
I think
Kombat
it was
11.
starting. I think Soul Calibur 4 was the start of Soul Calibur, starting to add some over the top moves. It might have been 5.
Right.
I'm not entirely sure, but it was definitely one of the
Well,
two. I'm guessing it was 4
you know,
because that's when they added in the Star Wars characters.
I was gonna say when you're fighting against Yada and Anakin Skywalker, what are you gonna do?
Run.
Yeah. Too bad it wasn't actually Anakin instead of Darth Vader. Then you could have had a Santa Tech.
Honestly, of all the guest characters they've added, the Star Wars characters are the biggest what the fuck. Because,
Hmm.
okay, sure, I'll allow you to bullshit an excuse for why the sword's Soul Calibur or the sword's Soul Edge could stand up against the lightsaber. I'll let you bullshit that one for me. But Maxi and his nunchucks? Bitch, please.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
I'm hoping for a return to Star Wars with the next Soul Calibur. Can we get Babu Frick in there?
Actually, you're gonna get Amaterasu.
That would be even better.
Yeah.
And Babu Frick will be riding her.
I mean, we could.
Anywho.
I don't know if they're doing more DLC for Soul Calibur 6, but they've done one guest character for each season of DLC. We got
Oh,
we
okay.
got Geralt in the base game. 2B was in the first round of DLC, and then Hal Maru was in the second round of DLC.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
Nice.
but outside of that, Nightmare is primarily just swings around a massive sword in a variety of ways. He has this gigantic claw on his right hand that he can also attack with and crush skulls with.
Right, right.
He has some of the attacks have like a have fire properties to them. Like he might swing his sword and then fire just trails behind it as well, or he can even have some dark energy being in his attacks. But he's primarily, I'm gonna beat you in half with my fucking sword.
Yeah, but there's also the Night Terror form that Nightmare has had in the past.
Yeah, that Night Terror is basically, if he is able to completely rebuild the Soul Edge sword, which has various shards of it that were broken off over time, then he can take on the secondary form where he's even bigger, beastlier, and he's got wings for some fucking reason. I
Hmm.
would not expect Night Terror to be in Smash. If they're gonna, it could be a Final Smash, sure, but the Reconquista thing that he's got with his horse, that's Final Smash material. That would
That's also
absolutely
true.
be his Final
That's
Smash.
also true. You can have
He
him
doesn't
summon the boss
have
for a period of time for a
like
jump or an up
his
special.
his special moves that he has in Soul Calibur aren't nearly as flashy as other fighting games like Street Fighter or Tekken or Mortal Kombat. They're all
Hmm.
just different ways that he swings his sword, and that's pretty much what all the characters are like. But that Conquista
Hmm.
attack, that is Final Smash, no doubt. And some of
Yeah,
his other
yeah.
attacks, they can just be turned into special moves for Smash or Smash attacks or aerials or what have you.
Right, right. Okay. I think we've kind of laid it out on the table then, haven't we?
I think so.
Yeah, so do I. So do I. Do you are you leaning one way or the other right
Oh, absolutely, Aveline. Are you kidding me? One of these characters would be a lot more fun than the other. There's no denying that. I would be up
now?
for either of them to be in Smash, sure. But if I get to pick between them, there's one that would be a hell of a lot more fun.
Yep, and I know what you're gonna say. So could maybe we can do a countdown on this one.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Shantae.
Scorpion.
Wait, hold up.
Shantae. Okay.
No, but no, I am going with Scorpion. I mean, come on. Having fire appear from below your enemies or being able to throw that fire that makes it appear, spitting up flames
Hmm.
from your own mouth, becoming one with fire and then appearing on the other side of them, the teleport, get over here. My God, Scorpion would be fun as hell. Never gonna happen. Absolutely never happening. But do I want it
Hmm.
to see it? Do I want to make a move set for it? You're goddamn right. It would be
Yeah.
amazing to see.
Hmm. Hmm. So there you have it. Shovel Knight and Shantae get to duke it out, and our voters or our audience will decide with a by casting their votes in the comments on my website, jfrom.com, any of our social pages, YouTube, our Discord. All those links will be readily available always. But as for Nightmare and Scorpion, it's more even cut, and we are siding with Scorpion, which is to Nightmare's credit. To Nightmare's credit, Nightmare will actually have a possibility of making it into Smash. So
True.
that's Nightmare's consolation prize.
Yeah. The consolation prize is
Yeah.
you have more than a 0% chance. Your opponent does not.
Yeah, I mean, and as far as getting another Namco character in Smash goes, Soul Calibur feels like a natural way to go with it. It's either Soul Calibur or Tales of.
I mean, Tekken has a chance, but I feel
Tekken's
like
yeah,
if Tekken was going to get a character, they probably would have already. It's just kind of
yeah.
weird that they haven't.
Watch
Supposedly,
before this even goes up.
I
Hmm?
mean, well, I mean that's not happening because it's going up in like a month, and
Yeah,
the only thing we know is Arms is getting a character. But if I remember correctly, Heihachi was considered,
yeah,
but was ultimately not included. Which there's been characters that were considered not included, and then were added later on. Ridley,
yeah. Like
the
Villager.
Villager, the
Yep,
Mies.
James Bond.
James Bond is not in Smash.
He is in my heart.
You don't have one.
Okay.
You sold it so that you could make a podcast.
What a deal.
I mean, I was eating well that
And
night.
that's also true. Okay. Where were we going with this?
I think we were going with the outro and the teaser for next episode.
Oh yeah. So, the teaser for the next episode is this is kind of a hot button issue within
Oh
our
yeah, it is
community, I
a
would say.
controversial topic in the Smash community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, is there too much Fire Emblem? I guess we're gonna find out when we talk about it with a special guest next time
On
on
Dragon
Super
Ball
Cast
Z.
Brothers. We'll get to that too, I'm sure.
I hope
There'll be a
not.
lot of Goku conversations. But
Please,
I think
no.
Frieza should be playable.
Nope.
No, Majin Buu as a baby.
Why not just Kid Buu?
Because the distinction is there. It's kind of like having Baby Rosalina and then Detective Baby Rosalina.
Let's not talk about Mario Kart Tour.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, see you next time.
Bye, everyone.